Hey, 8th grade. So our learning target today is I can write an equation in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, given two of the three parts. So we're going to talk about the three parts that we need for slope-intercept form today. And we're going to talk about how we can write it as long as we have two of the three parts. So here is our slope-intercept form. Go ahead and copy that in. So we have y equals mx plus b, where part 1 would be the slope, part 2 would be the y-intercept, and part 3 would be this xy pair. That xy pair. Three parts. We need two of them to solve. Okay, so as we're solving, we have write an equation given m and b. So we would go ahead and say, in order to do this, we're going to need to substitute for m and b into the equation. So we have y stop sign, y stop sign, x stop sign. We're going to substitute in for m and for b into the equation. So we have y equals mx plus b. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. If we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form, we need an m and we need a b every single time. So we would say we have y equals, not really sure I want the crayon here, guys. We have y equals mx plus b. And as we roll through this, and we have a y stop sign, leave it alone. The slope m is 7. This is my m, which is 7. X is a stop sign, plus, and the y-intercept is a 4. So my equation then is y equals 7x plus 4. Y equals 7x plus 4. Next one, we have m and we have b. So we have the equation y equals mx plus b. Y is a stop sign. The slope is -3. So we're going to go ahead and put a -3 in the m spot. X is a stop sign plus the b value, which is -5. So we have y equals mx. Whoops. We have, whoa, need that highlighter. We need a y equals mx plus b. We have y equals -3x plus -5. Done. All right, next problem. Here we go. So slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And we have, so y equals mx plus b. So we have y is a stop sign. The slope is 0. X is a stop sign. Plus the b is 4. So we have y equals 0x plus 4. That's my mx plus b. One thing to note on this problem is anytime you multiply by 0, it's going to wash away the value. So regardless of what the x is, when you multiply by 0, this is just going to disappear to 0. So this equation actually turns into y equals 4. Looks a little different than y equals mx plus b. It's because the slope is 0. It's a flat line with no change, no growth happening. All right, so that's just the substitution y equals mx plus b. So now let's go down here and talk about how we write in an equation form if we have a graph. So if we have a graph, the first thing that we would need to do, of course, is to find the slope. So we're going to go ahead and say that we'll find the slope. Find slope. Okay, so find slope. So you're probably going to want to use that equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. After we find the slope, we are going to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the place 0, comma b. It's the place where the y-axis intersects the line. That's where the word intercept is coming from, that it's the y-intersect point. And then after we do that, we are going to substitute in for m. And we're going to substitute in for b into the equation y equals mx plus b. So we're going to go ahead and substitute y stop sign, x stop sign, substitute m, substitute b. And the fourth and final step always is to check the equation just to make sure everything seems fine. I often in videos skip that step because I don't want to overteach and confuse you in a video. In class, I would go through that step just to make sure we have the correct equation. So in our work through the video right now, I'm probably going to skip step 4 just because I don't want to overteach and confuse you. All right, so starting with slope. We could use the formula right now, or we could rise run it. I'm going to rise run it because it's just faster for me to do that. So we have my 2 data points. This is my hotel room, my friend's hotel room, up and down on top, left and right on bottom, up and down on top, left and right on bottom. So we're going to go down 1, 2 floors. Down 2 is my rise. We're going to go over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is -2 over 4. in lowest terms is equal to negative 1/2. So my slope is negative 1/2. My y-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the y-axis. So we have the equation where the graph, or the place where the y-axis hits the graph, which is at 1 right here. The b is equal to 1. It's where my y-axis and my line meet right here at 1. So my b is equal to 1. My equation then is y equals mx plus b. Keep in mind that y is a stop sign. My slope is negative 1/2. X is a stop sign. Plus, and my b value is 1. So my equation is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. There's my equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. We are done. Moving on to the next example, we'd have to find those same parts. Find m, find b, and plug it in. Keep in mind y and x are stop signs. As I solve this equation then, we have rise and run happening. So we have a data point here, my hotel room, a data point here, my best friend's hotel room. We're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to run 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 4, my run is 3. So my slope is 4 thirds. The y-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the y-axis. So here's my y-axis. So my y-intercept is happening right here down at, so if this is 0, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. This would be my b value down here at negative 5 called the y-intercept. So for my equation then, I have y equals mx plus b. Keep in mind that y is a stop sign. My slope is 4 thirds. X is a stop sign. And my y-intercept is negative 5. So my equation for my answer here is y equals 4 thirds x plus negative 5. Y equals 4 thirds x plus negative 5. There's my equation. Hang in there, 8th grade, doing a great job. So every time we need an m and we need a b, we substitute and we're done. So what happens if I take the graph away? How do I find the slope if the graph isn't there? Well, we know x1, y1, alphabetical order, x2, y2. Still my hotel room, best friend's hotel room, still rise and run. But we have to go to plan B because the graph is missing. So we're going to say y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Substitution into the formula. The y2 value is 1 minus the y1 value is 3. So we have 1 minus 3 in the numerator. In the denominator, we have 5 minus 0. I said no when I chop the numerator. In the denominator, I have 5. So my slope is negative 2 over 5. Negative 2 over 5 is the slope there. The y-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the y-axis. I don't have the graph there in this particular one, but what I do know is that the y-intercept is always the value that's married to the x of 0. So this 0, 3, and I'll show you a picture of what that would look like. So 0, 1, 2, 3. This right here is the coordinate 0, 3. So this would become my y-intercept at 3 because that's where it's going to hit right on that line. So my b is 3 because of this data point right here has to be married to a 0. If that's confusing, we can talk about that in class if you're struggling with that. Right now I'm going to keep rolling with this video. So we have y equals mx plus b. Y is a stop sign. The slope in this problem is negative 2/5. X is a stop sign and the b value is 3. So my equation is y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3. That's our answer to this problem. All right, so moving on to the next problem. What about if it's in function notation? We just finished function notation. We know that these are still just xy pairs. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's no different than saying 0, 5, and 4, 17. If you're confused about how that looks in function notation, just came off of that lesson. So same old thing. Now, we don't have a graph, but we need the slope. So we should be going y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 when the graph disappears. The y2 value is 17. The y1 value is 5. So in the numerator, we have 17 minus 5. In the denominator, we have 4 minus 0. So we have 17 minus 5 in the numerator, which is 12. We have 4 minus 0 in the denominator, which is 4. So my slope in this problem is 3. My slope is 3. Now keep in mind, we need y equals mx plus b. So the good part is y is stop sign. Slope is 3. We just found it right here. X is a stop sign, but I still need this B value. I need to know when the graph crosses the y-axis. And the beauty of this problem here is this coordinate 0, 5 tells us that right here, this 0, 5 coordinate is telling us that this is the place 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the coordinate 0, 5 right here, where the y-axis is going to hit the graph. So the beauty is we know that that's going to hit at 5. And there's our equation, y equals 3x plus 5. We know that because of that point. Now, let's talk about both of these down here if you didn't quite see that. How would I find the 3 if I didn't know that? Well, you can do the following. You can write the equation y equals mx plus b, and you can solve for b. So you could say, well, I know a coordinate. I can pick one of these. Let's pick this one, 5, 1. I can take a 1 and put it in, so 5, 1, I'll rewrite it down here so I don't have to keep scrolling up and down. The value, y value is 1. The slope I found in this problem was negative 2/5. And the x value right here is 5. I can solve this for b. I borrow in the x and y just for a second, and then I'm going to put it back. I'm looking for that b. So we end up with 1 equals, when I put this in my calculator, negative 2/5 multiplied by 5, I get negative 2 plus b. Hand method kicks in. We're going to add 2, copy, paste. So we get 3 equals b. Same value I got up here. So it still works either way. Same value I got. So we have y equals the slope, negative 2/5 x plus 3. Same thing I got up here without that. So we could do the same thing over on this problem. So we have our work here. We know what the equation is supposed to be. What if you didn't quite understand how to get that? Well, going back up here, I could steal one of these data points. Let's say 0, 5. I'm going to steal that and put it into the equation. So we have y equals mx plus b. We can solve this thing for b. We only need 2 of the 3 parts. So if I pick this data point, I put a 5 in for y. We found our slope down here was 3. And I'm going to put a 0 in for x. I could solve this for b. So hand method kicks in. We get 5 equals 0 plus b. So subtracting 0, which is kind of weird, but I'm going to do that anyway just to follow the same process over and over. We end up getting 5 equals b. So there's my b value. So that's just if you didn't quite see that right from the beginning, what would I do? Well, you can solve the equations for b. So if you didn't quite see right from the beginning where the b value was. So you have 2 options there. You can just, if you just kind of know that that's the y-intercept because it's married to a 0, fabulous. If you don't know, borrow x, borrow y, plug them in, substitute m, solve hand method for b. If you need to watch the video again on what I just did, go ahead and pause, rewind, watch it again. Make sure you're in good shape before we move on. All right, so we are now on the top of the next page. We're going to talk about the notes of what we just got done doing. So what just happened is we talked about that we have to substitute m and a point into the equation. And then what we did right after that is we used inverse operations and solved for b. And now in my class, we call that the hand method, solving for b. So we'd borrow x, borrow y, substitute in for m, use the hand method to solve for b. After we get our m and get our b, we're going to go ahead and substitute m and b into the equation. And we would have y equals mx plus b. Substitute m and b into the equation, y stop sign, x stop sign. And the last step then, of course, is to check to make sure that the equation is good. So that's what we just got done doing on the previous page. So we're going to try that out again here. X, y. And this is my m. Every single time we do these, we have y equals mx plus b. Every single time we do these, we have m stop sign, b stop sign. So when I do that, I have to make sure that I have an m and a b. And the dilemma I have right now is I don't know the b. So we're going to go hand method and solve for it. I'm going to plug in a 3 for the y. My slope is negative 4, and I'm going to plug a negative 1 in for x. Hand method solving for b. So we end up going left to right. 3 equals, we have a triangle problem here, which is 4. Solving for b, subtract 4, copy, paste. We have negative 1 equals, whoops. Sometimes this tablet pen drives me crazy. We have negative 1 on the left-hand side equals b. Got it. That's what we needed. We needed this b value. So we have y equals my slope, we got from the beginning was -4. They told us that. X, but I really needed was this b value, -1. So my equation, final answer then is y equals mx plus b. So that's how we solve for b when we have a point xy and we have slope. Let's try another one that has a fraction. Oh no, a fraction. We always freak out in fractions, but we're just fine. Let's just hang in there. So we have xy point. So frustrating. We have an xy point. Come on. All right, so we have our slope here. What is my b value? I don't know. And those are the two things I need. I need an m and I need a b, but I don't know the b. So we have to solve for a minute. We're going to borrow that x and y and solve. My y value is 5. My slope is 2/3. My x value is 3. Solving for b. Hand method's going to kick in here. We have 5 on the left. On the right-hand side, we end up getting 6 divided by 3, which is 2. You can use your calculator if that's hard for you. Too fast. If it's too fast, go ahead, pause that video. Solving hand method for b. We're going to subtract 2, copy, paste. So we get 3 equals b. Now I have it. That's what I needed. Y equals mx plus b. Remember, y is a stop sign. My slope m was given to me at the very beginning of the problem. It's that fraction 2/3. X is a stop sign. And my b value, I just found the b value is 3. There's my equation. Y equals 2/3 x plus 3. Nice work, guys. Stay with it here. All right? All right, you try example here. So in our you try example, we have an xy coordinate. So we have our xy, and we have our slope is 5. What I don't know is the b value again. So what's the b value? So we have y equals mx plus b. My y value is 4. My slope is 5. And my x value is 1. Solving for this b, not sure what the b is. Hand method's going to kick in. We have 4 equals 5 plus b. Subtract 5, copy, paste. So working left to right here, we end up getting -1 equals b. So we have a b of -1. I know that was fast, so I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second, let you catch up. If it's way too fast, go ahead and rewind the video, watch it again, make sure you really understand what we need every single time, guys, is an m and a b. If we don't have the b, we have to solve for it. We borrow x, borrow y, plug it in, solve for b, and then plug it back in. So my final equation then, of course, y is a stop sign. My slope was given to me at the very beginning of the problem is 5. X is a stop sign. My b value I just found is -1. My equation is y equals 5x plus -1. So that's what we were doing today, is how do we solve when we have 2 of the 3 parts. So your summary for today, here's your first summary. Remember you have 3 parts. You have an m, you have a b, and you have a coordinate. You need 2 of these. You need 2 of them, and you can solve for the other. We were solving for b today. And if you have 2 of the 3, you can always write an equation. So that's our work on slope-intercept form of what do we do when we're missing one of the parts. Go ahead and fill out that summary. Okay, 8th grade, your homework for tonight then is to finish page 19 and 20. You're going to be solving for b a whole bunch in that. Sometimes you'll have to run for the slope. Sometimes the slope will be given to you. Sometimes you'll have to use the formula. Please take your time and do a good job on solving for b and homework tonight. Again, page 19 and 20, homework tonight. Have a fabulous night, 8th grade.